What's up, everybody? Welcome. I am the bearded one. Now this is my first upload because naturally, sound quality is gonna be crap, and yeah, I noticed there's a glare off my Star Wars original poster there. Maybe I could get better. I don't really get comfortable with videos, but that being said, I want to start this channel to talk about games, movies. I'm a big fan of Geeks and Gamers. You know, Jeremy. If anybody is going to watch the bearded one, they're going to probably know Jeremy. What's up, Geeks and Gamers? This is Jeremy coming at you with another video. And today, God, I can't do that. Anyway, for my first video, I thought about what movie I would like to talk about. And I don't. It's not really a review, but I thought I would open up with what I call the Star Wars situation. This is something I'm very passionate about. I am a lifetime Star Wars fan. I don't even remember seeing Star Wars. I don't even know the joy of that first time when Darth Vader says, "Luke, I'm your father," because I grew up with it. When I met my wife, I had her sitting there, and I was staring at her because I just wanted to know what the reaction is when they know it's your father. But even she said, "Oh, I already knew that much about Star Wars because everybody knows Luke, I am your father," in the deep voice. But let's go to the Star Wars situation. And what I call, and I was honest, what I believe The Last Jedi has done to Star Wars. I believe, and I actually went on Facebook before doing this channel. I put on what is there, and it's been a year, over a year since The Last Jedi. It's been a year and 3 months since Last Jedi came out in December of 17. This movie, I believe, not only buried Star Wars. I mean, I wouldn't say it can't come back, but it's in a hole that's going to be hard to climb out of. And here's why, and this is a logical reason. Let's even go back back in the 70s when the first one came out. It had a good wrap-up ending, but they left it open where there could be more. Well, when the original Star Wars, I'm not even going to say A New Hope. I feel like that was forced on me. But to know what I'm talking about, we'll say A New Hope. But we all know A New Hope was added in later. But originally it was just Star Wars and nothing else. So anyway, when it came out, people wanted more. So they made Empire Strikes Back, which was the best one to me out of all of them. That one's hard to top. And I'm not going to say I'm one of those original fan. I love the originals, I'll be honest with you. They are my favorite. Yeah, they might have that classic feel. I watch them all the time. But when Empire Strikes Back and it ended on that high note, that set up The Last Jedi for success. You had to wait 3 years to see. Not The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi. You had to wait 3 years, and then people flooded to the theaters to see Return of the Jedi. Now, let's fast forward. Even if you're a prequel defender, lover, or hater, you have to admit one thing. I watched them. They have a solid story from episode 1 to episode 3. Now, and I'll be honest with you, I think, yeah, they're terrible movies. The CGI's bad, the acting's bad. You're an idiot if you don't deny that. But what happened in the prequels is it had one story, the story of Anakin turning to the dark side. If you get down to the core of the story in the prequels, it's actually a good story to say out loud, but I would say more poorly executed. The CGI looked like like a PS2 cutscene. It was so bad, and especially how bad it aged. But to be honest with me, there was a period they annoyed me, but I can't say I hated the prequels. There's a couple good things in there. They're small, but a couple good things. But overall, they told a story. And guess what? If you go to the prequels and the originals, they come together and they tell one story. Like when I remember, episode 1, it's so many episodes, trying to get them in here. When episode 1 ended, you knew it was Anakin's going to start his training, and you wanted to see episode 2. So episode 2 was successful. Then, what episode 2 left off is you knew in episode 3 that Anakin was going to go to the dark side. So that was the driving force. You knew this is it. The movie's coming up that's going to tell how he went to the dark. We're going to see Vader. And you're going to see the Jedis get wiped out. You knew. So Revenge of the Sith was a success. Then if you zoom out, look at the originals, look at the prequels, they all tell one story. Now, let's fast forward 2015. When Force Awakens came out, and I'll be honest, as a movie by itself, I enjoyed Force Awakens. Some people's going to disagree with that. Yeah, I would agree that it was similar to A New Hope. But I'm going to say, down to the movie, it set up stuff I was curious for the future. Like, I'll give you an example. Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. I wanted to know more about that. I couldn't wait to see what was going to go down with Luke Skywalker. Him popping up at the end like that. What else? Rey's parents. Who is she, a Kenobi? Is there some tie with the dark side? Like, all these rumors is Darth Sidious her dad. Then Snoke. Who is Snoke? We're gonna find out who he is. Is he Plagueis? Is he something else? Is somebody that existed from other time? What is Snoke? We all had that. When it ended, you can't lie. The Force Awakens set the next movie up for success. Then The Last Jedi happened. You're an idiot right here if you like this movie. This is me talking about The Last Jedi. When I came in, I was so excited. Is the story with the Knights of Ren going further? We're going to find out Snoke is. Who is Rey's parents? And I'm going to be honest. You can't lie. I will say this. You had The Last Jedi. Force Awakens and then The Last Jedi. And I'll be honest. Something about The Force Awakens, you got to admit, felt detached from the 2 trilogies prior. But I went ahead. Then The Last Jedi came out. Let's not forget the flaw. I could sit here and go, I might even make another video going scene by scene the flaws with the movie. One example, the bomber scene, the opening scene. Remember how the bombs just fell onto the ships? I'm not a genius, but in space, stuff doesn't fall. It'd be different if the bombs were in torpedo form and shot down, but they fell. Oh, and then that girl was actually exposed to the vacuum of space. So, I guess they forgot how space worked. I don't know. But I'm going to try to avoid talking about, I might make another video talking about the scenes of the movie, and I'm sorry about my video quality. This is a cell phone. The Last Jedi came out. I don't even know where to begin. Okay. Let's talk about I felt like the goal of this movie was to shut your rumors up. Literally, he said, I don't give a crap about your rumors, and this movie proved it. Oh, who's Rey's parents? Nobody. Who is Snoke? Who cares? He got killed. Whoa, we're going to see Luke do something awesome? Nah. He's just going to mope around. Get bested by a newbie. Okay, I don't care what you say about Rey, But he is a Jedi Master, and he get bested, knocked to the ground by someone with no training. Oh, and let's talk about, in the originals, the training montages. Even Anakin's training in the prequels. But mainly Luke's training. He had to train all the way to the end and still was training in the last movie. Rey's just like in the very first movie. This bothered me. Maybe if it gave some explanation why she was so good. But let's just be honest. We're in the age of female empowerment. That's what they decide to go with. Oh, she's just a strong female that doesn't need training or any character arc or nothing. And don't give me that crap that, oh, you're against women. No, I'm not. I like a good story. I'll be honest with you. I loved Wonder Woman. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. I loved Kill Bill. Oh man, I love Kill Bill. I might watch that. And let's not forget Ripley off Aliens. I mean, we could go back. I like the. I could get started on Captain Marvel, acting like that's like the first female empowerment movie ever. But I was like, when you have no character arc, they're just good for no reason at all. It's not gonna sit well, people. But anyway, that's again another video for another time. I'm talking about Star Wars as a basically as a whole right now, like if you add up all, and where does Last Jedi fit, and what did the Last Jedi did to the whole Star Wars trilogy, or the 3 trilogies, and where this is going. Alright, I'll just go, and then the whole Princess Leia flying scene. Again, this is my first video, but I'm having flashbacks like I've been in war. So much wrong, and then the part that made no sense, there was no good plot, and we all know, if a lot of people watching the video, you know the issues with The Last Jedi. I mean, the bombs just dropping in space when, they're in space, the Leia putting her hand out and flying to the ship. Oh, and by the way, that was an airlock door, and they just opened it and pulled her in. Wouldn't the vacuum of space pull them out? Then you had the plot where they go to get the Master Codebreaker that end up being worthless. Like you had a chunk of your movie that meant nothing. Oh, and let's not admit, they could have furthered the progress of Captain Phasma, but they just get her beat again. They set her up like she was the baddest woman on planet. I was actually excited. I was like, ooh, this is going to be cool. She has this cool armor. That part where he shot her and it did nothing. And then I kind of thought, why don't the other stormtroopers have that armor? But again, and then, let's just, alright, I'm going to get to the end here. I'm going to have to make a video just solely talking about the Last Jedi problems, and I just kind of am dropping in, like giving little examples of why the movie was terrible. You get on the planet and Luke's like, I've been wanting to see Luke do something awesome with the Force. You get on the planet and Luke mopes around. You belittled Catherine Kennedy, which she's the lady over Lucas, and Rian Johnson. They're the directors. He's the director, of the movie. His goal was to take all the fan speculations and kill it. He got rid of the one thing that made Kylo Ren look cool was his helmet. They got rid of that. They had Rey act like she was smarter than Luke, and Luke was a mopey old man. Literally the whole movie. They took Chewbacca, kind of made him a little side comedy relief character. He literally popped in and had these goofy scenes that meant nothing. Finn was just basically, if you're a male in this movie, you were a babbling idiot. General Hobo, she was terrible. Here, I'm not going to tell y'all the plan, which it could have been maybe an explanation in the movie why she couldn't tell Poe Dameron her plan. Just didn't. And then when the movie ended, let's go to Luke was just a Force projection. That kind of took away, like, okay, now when I watch the second time, I know he's not there and it doesn't matter. And then he basically died of a heart attack. When this movie ended, if you think about it, you have no desire to see where it goes from there. I have this. The next movie is supposed to be the wrap-up movie, the big payoff, the movie that wraps it all up. The last Force Awakens was the start of something. And I'll be honest with you, the Force Awakens kind of seemed like, okay, it took, the Jedi ruled for thousands of years, right? The Sith disappeared, and then they took over, and then they destroy the Sith, and the Republic takes over, and when a period of 30 years, the First Order rises. They never made an explanation, and this is what I'm talking about with the Force Awakens. There was no explanation on how they rose to power. Where were these Sith hide? Where was Snoke hiding at during the events of the other movies? He's obviously kind of hinted that he was there, but it felt like a reboot. And then it was just like, oh, how did the First Order's there? It felt like, okay. And then when The Last Jedi came out, it felt like another reboot. I really felt like when you go back and watch Force Awakens, it was just a nostalgia pop movie. Then they made their real movie with The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was just another detached movie. It felt like, okay, remember when I said earlier in this video, the originals and the prequels as trilogies by themselves, they all stuck together with one theme and story. If you put them together, they all chain together. This new Disney trilogy, they're detached. Force Awakens does not feel like it was a continued story. It's like we just stopped and it's just like, oh, here's the First Order. They're taking over. They basically, and I don't get it. It's called the Resistance, which is a ripoff of the Rebellion. But if the Resistance, wouldn't they just be the army of the Republic? Because they established there's a new Republic. And I will get it. You knew the political climate in the other movies. This one, we don't know what was going on. So anyway, that's I believe the Star Wars problem is they don't even feel like they chain together. And like Force Awakens, and I felt like when you go to Force Awakens to Last Jedi, even Poe Dameron was considered like, oh, he's a hero. He don't feel like nothing is moved but an idiot. Finn was, I actually thought it was appealing and somewhat cooler. This one, he's an idiot. Really, every guy in this movie is kind of an idiot. But it felt when it ended, I have no desire to see the next Star Wars movie. I'm just being honest. I'll probably see it, but I have no want or even like I remember right before Last Jedi, I was looking up all this stuff. The Knights of Ren, you killed that story. Everything set up in Force Awakens was killed. Therefore, this movie almost, I don't even like watching Force Awakens. It even reversed it. It's like I don't even like the Force Awakens anymore because I know it goes nowhere. Depending on what they do in the next movie, well, could it save it? I don't know how, but we'll see what happens. And it just makes me sad for all of this, really. But let me know, comment or like if you feel the same way or if you just like it. But I just thought I'll drop that. I'll probably make another video. I kind of felt like I was chasing a rabbit because just having these flashbacks of Last Jedi just made me want to flood out, but I couldn't. But as a story, what I'm saying is, originals and prequels, they all had a flow, and then these new ones, you gotta admit, there's no flow to them. I said I felt like when Last Jedi started, it was also another reboot of the reboot. It's like they changed everything. And now here we are with a trilogy that's so disconnected, so unappealing. You got a new movie coming out, and I could almost care less. Like, I have, like, no desire. You killed Luke Skywalker and made him look like a wuss. But, comment and share, subscribe. Thank you. I'm the Bearded One. Look forward to other videos and movie reviews coming up. Thank you.